We're going to switch gears a little here to the press asked you on numerous occasions whether President Biden planned to pardon his son, Hunter, and you repeatedly and adamantly said that he would not. Is that right?
Yes, because that's what I knew the answer to be at the time.
And of course, he eventually did pardon his son, Hunter Biden. Is that correct?
Correct.
When did you learn that he intended to pardon Hunter?
It was a short timeline when I learned from the time I learned to the time that we shared it with the press. A very short timeline.
Meaning like the same day, or
I honestly don't have a actual amount of time, but it was a short timeline. Like maybe I found out the night before and we announced it the day before. It was very, very short period of time.
And the basis of your understanding before he ultimately did decide to do it, the basis of your understanding that he would not pardon Hunter Biden, was that a conversation you had with him directly? Or?
No, I did not have a conversation with him about it.
And would that be, who would that be that you would talk to about that?
I mean, we put out a statement that he was very involved in his thought process about his decision to pardon his son. And that's what I understood it to be. That's what he wanted to make sure that the American people had. I was not part of any conversation on that.
And I'm sorry if my question was confusing, but before, when your answer at the podium was that he would not pardon his son, you were saying that because you had spoken to him and he said he wouldn't?
I understand. I thought you meant when he actually made the decision. Yes, it's something that he had said multiple times. He said it in public on the record, is what I knew to be true at the time. And that's what I repeated, something that he was very clear about during that period of time when I said he would not.
When President Biden would be given talking point cards for a specific issue, is that something you'd be involved in generally?
If it relates to the press or inquiry that was coming from the press, yes.
I can introduce if it's easier, but at first I can just represent it to you.
Mm-hmm.
There was a tweet by Alex Thompson from September 8th, so just a few days ago,
Mm-hmm.
That...
Like a year ago? September
I'm sorry,
8th?
just a few days ago.
Currently.
This week,
okay, pardon.
that included a document which was a talking points card dated December 1st, 2024. One of the talking points is a bolded header that says, "When did you," in all caps, decide to do this? Yeah. With regard to why did you change your mind to pardon Hunter? And then under the "when did you decide to do this" header, it says, "made the decision this weekend." Is that a normal talking point for a card like that?
Can we take a look at if you've got?
Yeah, because I have
mine?
it.
Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just go off the record.
Go off the record. I'll introduce as Exhibit 2 the tweet that I was mentioning earlier from Alex Thompson. And as you can see, it's dated December 1st, 2024. Firstly, have you seen this before?
So it would not be unusual for me to have put together or be part of with the comms team and putting notes like this. It's not unusual for any president, to be quite honest, to have cards or notes from the press or comms team. I don't remember this particular specific one, but it wouldn't be. I would normally be involved in this.
And of course, this is a talking points sheet, notes with regard to the president changing his mind about pardoning his son. And it strikes me as odd that he would require a talking point for when he made the decision when it was only apparently the previous weekend. Is that unusual?
It's not unusual. So just to give you a little bit of the process here is that my job as the White House press secretary and also the communications director job is to make sure whatever questions that we think, because he engages with the press pretty regularly. I think I said he engaged with the press unofficially over 670 times, right? So this was a regular occurrence. So he saw the press all the time. And members of the press travel with the president pretty regularly. So we would put together, like I've said before, daily news summary, daily notes. And we're talking about one card, but there were probably other cards here on whatever issue topics of the day. And I would look at it just like a memo that he would be getting just to let him know, hey, this is what's up, this is what's going on, and this is probably what you're going to hear. So it was not unusual. It's not uncommon for presidents or principals or candidates to have these types of notes that they're going to be getting from the press.
That all makes sense. I guess to me still strikes me as odd that, this seems like a pretty big decision. He's going back on something that he had said he wouldn't do, and now he's doing it, and it's with regard to his son, and he made the decision only in the previous days. Is it not odd to you that he would need to be reminded that it was just...
It's not odd because we did this consistently, made sure that he had what was on the minds of the press. It's something that we did daily. And this would be it. This in this moment, dated, right? This would be something that the press was focused on. So it's not unusual. Candidates do this. Other principals do this. It's not unusual.
Were you surprised that President Biden changed his mind about pardoning his son?
Yeah, I was surprised
Why?
because we had said that he wouldn't. But again, his decision to make, very personal decision, and he laid out in a statement why he made that decision.
And I know my question got confusing the last time, but for the record, to be clear, did you have a conversation directly with President Biden about his reversal, about when he eventually decided to pardon his son?
If you're asking me if I had a conversation about his thought process, the decision making, no.
And did you just discuss that with anybody else?
No.
So are you directly aware of when he made the decision to pardon his son?
I mean, he shares it in his statement.
But is the question outside of that? Is she aware of anything outside of what he has said or what's in the statement?
Yeah, do you have any direct knowledge of the process by which President Biden came to make that decision, besides his public statements?
No, besides his public statement, no.
Did you ever hear any conversation, any rumor that President Biden was considering pardoning his son while you were going to the podium and saying he would in fact not do that?
Are you asking me from like internally?
Yes, ma'am.
No. Like internally from the White House?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Why do you believe he changed his mind?
I mean, I would just refer back to the statement that he put out about it. Personal decision that he made. Difficult decision for him to make, but he made it.
Did you ever speak with anybody from Hunter Biden's legal team?
No.
Did you ever speak with Hunter Biden?
If you're asking me if I've ever spoke to Hunter Biden about his legal or pardons or anything like that.
I'll get there, but let's start generally.
I mean, I would see him from time to time with his family, but we did not talk about this.
You never talked with Hunter Biden about any of his legal issues?
No.
And you never spoke with Hunter Biden about any congressional inquiry into
No.
Hunter Biden? Going back to the binder, who would insert information into the binder about pardons, if you know?
Are you asking me who would like help formulate the questions or formulate the response?
Or the response, yes, ma'am.
I believe that came from the comms team primarily.
Do you know if anyone had, pardons as their portfolio?
Not specifically, no. Not that I remember, no.
Do you know if Anita Dunn was involved?
She was not there by that point. We're talking about December of 2024. So this was all towards or even January, actually. This was the end of the administration.
That's right.
So you couldn't pinpoint a particular person or a couple people who were inserting information into the binder about pardons?
Well, I would say it was the communications team, right? The communications director was involved. That's where I would say that it came from.
Did you ever speak with President Biden about pardons?
I mean, we were, again, this was like the last couple of days of the administration, so I never had a specific conversation with him about it, no.
And just so I'm clear, we're talking about the pardon of Hunter Biden. Did you have I'll rephrase the question. Did you ever have any conversation with President Biden about the pardon of Hunter Biden?
No, before he...
Before or after?
No, I did not.
Did you ever have a conversation with President Biden about the later pardons of any member of his family, before or after?
That's what I was speaking to prior, it was towards I think it was like the last day of the administration, so there was no time to talk about that. The only time I talk to the president about the pardon is as I explain, when I tell him what's on the mind of the press, what I'm getting in the press briefing room, and I would bring it up in that way, but we never had a direct conversation about it.
And I just want to clarify on that to make sure there's no confusion. Are you talking about the theoretical question of would the president pardon Hunter Biden or after he had made the
I've
decision?
never talked to him about him pardoning his son Hunter. We never had a conversation. What I was trying to say is, if it was on the mind of the press, I would say, this is what the press is asking me. But we never had a conversation about it. About his decision or anything like that.
So that what you would deliver to the press, that just was from the briefing book? I'll rephrase. When you would tell the press that the president does not intend to pardon his son, Hunter, that you were getting that information purely from the briefing book?
No, I think I made that clear, that the president said it himself, right? This is when I said it at the podium, the president had also said it, whether at a gaggle or in the interview, a sit-down interview, which he did 151 of sit-down interviews. He would, if he were asked during that time, he would answer it and say no. So it came from the president of the United States.
Were you at all aggrieved when the president did the exact opposite of what you had been saying from the podium?
Was I aggrieved? No.
That's
Okay, we'll stop right there.
Oh,